David Heurtel in for Aaron and Natasha. Well, what were the biggest highs and lows of 2023? This is an annual tradition now in the world of politics, sports, media, and food. Michael Cohen releases his yearly list in the Suburban, and he joins me now. Michael, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, David.
So how was the Red Lobster in Ottawa?
It was outstanding.
Important things.
Yes, absolutely. It was outstanding. High up, but Big Rig from Footastic actually beat Red Lobster on my list.
Okay.
And I would give Ralph and Sons Diner as well. So
okay.
I didn't only go to Red Lobster.
Okay, fair enough. How did you celebrate last night?
Well, we had a great meal picked up from Ribbon Reef. Did a takeout, and then we watched some movies on Netflix. Doesn't get much better than Ryan Seacrest drops the ball, and then I get ready to go to sleep. That's it.
All right, awesome. So let's get going. The highs and lows of 2023. What do you want to start with?
Well, let's. I mean, I've been listening to you this morning and this afternoon, and it's great to hear the common subjects. But I do this column every year, and I start off with politics, and Pierre Poilievre is a high. I mean, clearly the way he's going. Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, I may not agree with his agenda, but boy, is he a role model for how to bring a party back from the dead. And my good friend Anthony Housefather, who is the member of parliament for my riding, Mount Royal, and was my mayor when I was for my first 10 years on city council. And Anthony, I mean, he calls himself a liberal, but I mean, he's more like an opposition within that party right now because he stands up to Trudeau. And did that on their unnecessary Bill C-13, and again with their position in the United Nations on Hamas. So those are my leaders in the highs. Okay. But I want to quickly get to the lows and get your opinion. Justin Trudeau, definitely on the lows. By the way, I will say, he is the member of parliament for Papineau, which is one of, and I've talked to you about this.
Well, it used to be my old riding provincially, Saint Michel.
Right.
It's this part of it's Saint Michel. It goes a bit into Saint Leonard. Absolutely.
Exactly. So he was the member of parliament, I should say. I almost said was. And we have two schools. We have John F. Kennedy High School, which you know well, and Sinclair Laird and Park Extension. And I have done everything in my power to get him to make an appearance at that school, even if he walked through a schoolyard for 2 minutes. And it's been about 9 years since he showed up at one of those schools. I've called his office. I've called Ottawa. And, I mean, when do you have a prime minister who's the representative for your school? It's such a huge honor. So I hope he gets there before he takes a walk in the snow and does the right thing and leaves, because he will not. If he runs against Poilievre, he is promising his party that they will be out of office. Their only chance of winning the election is if he's gone, sadly. And look, credit to him. He's been the prime minister for a long time, and he'll have a lot to be proud of. And look, that. But nonetheless, he was a low. I say Jagmeet Singh, who basically is like a part of a coalition government propping him up. He gets a low. Francois Legault gets a low, and the biggest low has to be Valerie Plante, who, my God, where do we start with her? Her anti-car crusade. Increasing the hours for parking downtown, the lack of consultation, the Dominic Olivier revelation of her oyster dinner. I mean, it goes on and on. The bike paths that they're spending money on. Now they're doing one on Terrebonne. No one wants it. They're going to shove it down everyone's throat in NDG. Very, very, very disappointing. And one other, which I'd love to get your opinion on. Yeah. The Canadian Party of Quebec. I know that, they don't have any members, but look at Eric Duham, who's just on your show, who's doing the rounds. Yes. The Canadian Party of Quebec has a leader, Colin Standish. They also have money, because when you run in the election, you get money for a certain percentage of votes you have. There is no excuse in the world for that party to have been so invisible the last year and a half. Where were they on Concordia? Why aren't they having any press conferences? If they're going to run again in the next election, they better get their act together Balarama Holness, also the invisible man. Do they only show up during elections, these people? There's so much stuff for them to stand up and speak on behalf of the English community. I'd like to, what do you think about those two?
Well, I agree. It's going to be, you know what? You're giving me an idea. We'll try to reach out to Colin Standish or somebody from the Canadian Party of Quebec to see what the status is over there. But at the same time, even at the beginning of all this movement before the 22 election, my position is I don't think that's the best way to go for the English-speaking community. I think it's to try to unite behind one organization, one party. So I agree with your observation about these two. I know Balarama Holness said he was focusing on his legal career for now. I don't know if he'll be back either municipally or provincially, or maybe federally, who knows. But the idea here is that you're right, Éric Duhaime, and we see it every day here at CJD 800. And I throw the question back to you. Can the Conservative Party of Quebec, can Éric Duhaime be that answer for the English-speaking Quebecers of Quebec?
Well, I can tell you one thing. We had a seminar at the school board just about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, on Bill 40, and Bonnie Feigenbaum was there. You know, she ran in Darcy McGee, there was Éric Duhaime.
And she's still involved with the party. She's still very much involved.
And, so listen, Marc Perez, who ran in Darcy McGee, who's no longer part of the Canadian Party of Quebec, he's kind of upset the fact that they're so invisible. He's there every week doing some sort of event against Bill 96, speaking out against Concordia and the McGill situation. Part of the problem is the Quebec Liberal Party, which you've talked about. You talked about it this morning, and Delmar did. I am flabbergasted at the fact that they're sitting here waiting to pick a leader in April of 2025 when the next election will already be lost from them. And, I don't understand who's running the show there. And I don't know what the new MNAs are doing. The new MNAs who just got in there, are they speaking up? Are they saying anything in caucus? How could they just sit there and let this happen? That's a major low as well for 2023. The Provincial Liberal Party, which really could, with a leader, like you said this morning, any leader who would be at least permanent, they'd be up in the polls. But they're waiting for a miracle. They're waiting for Justin Trudeau to go take a walk in the snow or call a snap election and hope that Melanie Joly or someone will become available. But no, they won't be available by then.
They won't be available because regardless of what happens federally, the Melanie Joly or the François-Philippe Champagne are going to look at being a player for whoever succeeds Justin Trudeau. They're not going to come in and be the new Jean Charest version or the new Jean Lesage for people who remember their history, having this former federal politician come in and save the Liberal Party of Quebec. I don't see it happening, especially in the middle of a huge election cycle where, in 2025, we're going to have at least the municipals, we're going to have the federal, and then in 26 we're going to have the provincial. It's going to be a mess trying to run and organize and fund a leadership campaign in the midst of all of this.
You've said it completely correctly, and I would, if I were the Liberal Party, I'd do what they did with Jean Charest many years ago, and I would get on my knees and beg Andre Fortin to change his mind, because in my opinion, he, as the leader, he's the one that could bring them, maybe not to power in the next election, but maybe they get a good minority government with a big vote split.
Well, definitely start rebuilding. Start getting messages out there. And as for the caucus, I appreciate your point. The only thing I'll say is in the defense of these rookies, the 10 new members, it takes time to get your footing, especially in the opposition. That's how I learned. I mean, I was a rookie MNA. In the opposition, it takes time to get your footing, but I'm seeing, some cause for hope. I mean, I don't know what you think, but, Des McGraw is starting to get her footing.
Absolutely.
Madouani Cacadet in Montreal Now, she's getting her footing. Liz Prass, I thought, scored a lot of points since the October 7th attacks. I mean, she's been very present.
She's my MNA, and she's everywhere. She's at every event, present with her staff, so she's
on the ground. So we'll see them, more present. But I agree with you; these rookies have to stand up much more, but because that's the only way. But the caucus is clearly not united right now.
Do they want to have 10 members in the next election? That's where they're headed if they don't get their act together. But people can go to the Suburban.com, go into columnist, look at Cohen Chatter. They could read the rest of my highs and lows in the paper, and I'll have my predictions coming up next week.
All right, looking
cheek predictions.
Yeah, looking forward to that, Mike. Always a pleasure. Have a great 2024.